Hey guys, it's almost summer, and in my experience, if you're planning to get an above ground pool or upgrading your pool pumps, this is the best time to do it because after Memorial Day weekend, pool and pump prices will usually go up in price. Aquastrong sent this product to me and asked if I can do an unboxing and assembly video for you so that you can see all the parts that came with it and give you an idea on how easy it is to assemble this sand filter pump unit. This comes in different tank and pump sizes, but all the parts and assembly should be the same. Inside the box, you'll see this small package right here, and this thing comes with the quick installation guide and your owner's manual. And it also comes with your extra warranty. So if you register your purchase, you're going to have a total of 3 years warranty for materials and manufacturing defects. And you also have a one-time replacement guarantee if your product fails during the warranty period. You'll also get your pump base and also your pool pump. This is a 3/4 horsepower pump, and this is good for up to 16,000 gallon pool. You also get your system tank. So this comes in different sizes. They have a 12 inches, 14 inches, and 16 inches. So this one here is a 16 inches tank. This thing have a minimum sand capacity of 70 pounds and a maximum sand capacity of 100 pounds. This can also accept up to 4.6 pound filter balls. And right here, you're going to see the specification of the tank. This is actually the same for all tank sizes. The maximum pressure is gonna be 30 psi. So inside this tank, you're gonna see your sand filter interconnecting hose. So I'm gonna show you later how to use this thing. And also inside this, you'll have your center pipe hub and you have your laterals already installed. Okay, so if you look over here, you're gonna see your minimum and maximum. So basically minimum is your 70 pounds of sand and maximum is your 100 pounds of sand. If you use the filter balls, you can actually max it out with a 4.6 pound ball capacity. So that actually is good for up to 150 pounds of sand. And here you also have the pool pump cover and the tank O-ring. So basically you use this thing to fill up your tank with sand so that the sand doesn't go inside this pipe right here. Okay, so you want to keep that close when you fill this with sand. So you'll put your O-ring right here, and then you want to just cover it like this. Okay, and then you also have your tank clamp. This is going to be right here to install the head. So this is the tank heads. This one here is the sand filter tank base. And then you'll have all these connectors right here. So all this is your 1.5 filter hose conversion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have all this 5. So if you have a 1.5 size hoses, then this is all you need. But if you have the smaller hoses, which is the 1.25, then you can use this conversion adapter. Okay, so you have 3 of them because you only need those 3 because the 2 of this is gonna go to the pump only. Okay, so these are the 3 adapters, and it can go from this size to this size right here. And this thing is gonna go to your system instead of this one right here. Make sure that you don't lose any of these O-rings right here when you assemble them. Okay, so each ones have their O-rings here and also have a rubber gasket on the other side. Okay, the conversion adapter will have 3 O-rings here, 1, 2, 3, plus another big O-ring right here. Okay, and then you have this bag right here that have your Teflon tape and some of the clamps. So let me go open this thing. So this thing is your viewing window with O-ring. So this is to allow visual inspection of the system and ensures airtight sealing right here. And you have this 3 hose clamps right here. So this is going to secure hoses fitting to prevent leaks. I think you're going to be needing this only when you use this 1/2 to 1.25 conversion adapter. And then this one is your pressure gauge. So you have to remember that the maximum PSI for your tank is 30. So you don't want to go all the way here. So Once you go to the yellow, you want to start cleaning your filter. So if you're using a sand filter media, then you want to backwash your sand. If you're using a filter balls, then you want to take it out and wash them. Okay, so this is what's inside the pump box. So you have the 3/4 horsepower pump. This thing have a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 24-hour timer. And the cord is 6 feet long. And it also comes with this clear cover and nut that goes right here. And it also have this basket plus this grounding wire right here. So we'll figure out later how to install this. And it also comes with its own registration warranties. So if you register this, you'll also get an extra 1-year warranty. So from 2 years, you're gonna have 3 years warranty plus a 1 free replacement guarantee. It also comes with a Teflon tape to prevent any leakage. Okay, so let's begin the assembly by following the steps provided by the manual. So we want to start with the pull pump. And we want to remove whatever's inside this. So step 1 is basically installing this to this area right here. And when you install this, you want to make sure that you have this O-ring right here, okay? Because when I pull this out of the package, the O-rings actually fell off. So you want to make sure the O-ring is installed right here. And before you put it here, make sure that this hole here is facing this hole right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. And then according to the manual, this is going to be a little tight when you push it. So you just want to push it firmly. And then you want to close it by turning it clockwise. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let me make sure that I got it closed properly. Next step is you want to pull this thing out until the white dots are visible. So those are the 2 white dots. I'm not sure if you can see that. Next is you want to remove this screw plus one of the nuts. So you want to make sure that there's 1 nut left because there's 2 nuts there, okay? And I'm gonna go remove this as well. So next is we're going to align the tank base into this side right here. So this thing basically just goes like this. And then you want to place the sand filter tank into this base. So this back part right here is going to align to this. And this drain valve here is going to be on this side right here. So let's go like this. So if you look closely, this is the drain facing this way, and the back foot is right next to the pump. Next is you want to make sure that this is properly tightened. You can also use the Teflon tape that the package provided to you. So let's go ahead and do that to make sure that we don't have any leaks once we start putting this in. So this part right here, you don't really need to put Teflon tape here because it already has an O-ring inside. So this, I'm just gonna go tighten this thing. And then I'm gonna put this thing back here, make sure that it's seated properly, okay? Next is you want to position this to the center of the tank, and you want to grab your sand shield and put it right here. So at this point, you can actually pour your sand here already, okay? But for me, I'm not going to be using the sand. What I'll be using is the filter balls. So let's go ahead and put all the filter balls here now. So I'm just going to put my filter balls here. Now this tank can actually handle up to 100 pounds of sand, and this filter ball, it says that 4.6 pound is equal to 150 pounds of sand. But if you look at the manual on this tank, it actually tells you that this thing will actually accommodate 4.6 pound of filter balls. So I'm gonna put all the filter balls here, and we'll see how full it is going to be when I put all the 4.6 pounds of filter ball on this tank. And I'm leaving this thing here so that the center pipe will remain in its place, even though I'm having harder time to put this thing in. So after you put in your filter media, you can remove this now. So let me go ahead and remove this so you can see it clearly how it looks like. And by leaving the sand shield when I was putting the filter balls, this thing remains in its place. Okay, so it's right there centered, so that's how you want it. Next is you want to install your 6-way valve. And to install this, make sure that this gasket is in place before you put this thing in so you don't get any leak. Okay, so when you install this, you want to make sure that this thing is aligned properly to this one right here, because you're going to be installing this thing like this. Okay, so the pump portion will be connecting to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put this thing in first. And if you look here, you already have an O-ring right here, so you don't really need to put the Teflon tape here because this is going to do a proper seal already. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this thing in. So make sure you wanna turn it counterclockwise first until it's seated properly, and then you wanna turn it clockwise, and you just want to do it by hand, okay, until it's tight. Okay, make sure that you have this gasket right here. Make sure you don't lose this thing. And then I'm gonna do the same thing right here. So make sure you have this O-ring, and I'm just gonna turn it counterclockwise first until it sits. Then I'm gonna go turn clockwise and tighten it by hand. Okay. Make sure you have this gasket right here. And I haven't put the clamp yet because I want to make sure that I can still move this thing around. Okay, so let me just go ahead and put this thing in first. So again, you want to do counterclockwise until it sits, and then turn it clockwise, so you have a nice connection here. So now I know that I have to push this thing a little to the left so I can do a proper connection. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it counterclockwise until it sits into the groove, and then turn it clockwise to tighten it completely. So now that I have that, I can now put this thing in and tighten this thing. Okay, so we're almost done. All we need to do now is install this transparent viewing pipe right here. So this thing have an O-ring, so just put the O-ring inside and tighten this thing by hand. And then you can remove this thing and you can install the pressure gauge right here. So for the pressure gauge, make sure that you install a Teflon tape because this thing doesn't have any O-rings. So just gonna put it right here. And that's about it. So basically this is already installed. Now depending on the piping system in your above ground pool, you can use this if you have a 1.5 inch hose, or use this one right here if you have a 1.25 inch hose. So basically this thing will go right here or this one right here. So for me, I have a 1.5 inch hose. I'm gonna be installing this thing here as a standby so that when I build my pool, I have everything installed. So I hope that you found this video helpful to you. Please help my channel by clicking the like and the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.